On the agenda tonight, we're going to be taking a look at Fourth Impact, and they're going to be performing Dynamite. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So, again, a bit of a different one for tonight, because I don't think we've ever had a group of singers who are attempting to sing a song that was auto-tuned in the first place, but then they're singing it naturally. And that's what we're going to have with Fourth Impact tonight, because with BTS and Dynamite, that original song, if you don't know, is auto-tuned and, well, at the very least pitch corrected, but it just sounds like auto-tune. And we did have a video on that previously. So we're going to be taking a look at Fourth Impact's version of this being performed live, and they're not using auto-tune. And then we're going to just have a look at BTS performing it live, so you can see the difference between the use of auto-tune live and the voices of Fourth Impact who are doing it without any tuning. And by the way, if you don't know that the original song from BTS is pitch corrected and auto-tuned, I mean it is borderline auto-tune, then I apologize for that, but it is a fact, and you know, we covered that in a previous video. So we will jump into this and see how the girls get on and their sisters. And by the way, there's a link to the original video in the description below, as always, if you want to watch it the whole way through without me interrupting it. But let's get them up on screen and see how they get on.
It's us tonight, so watch me break the fire, set the night alight. Shoes on, get up in the one cup of milk, let's rock and roll. King Kong, kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone. Ha! Sing song when I'm walking home, jump up to the top of the road. Ding dong, call me on my phone, I see and I get my ping pong. Ha! This is getting heavy, can you hear the bass boom? I'm ready. Got this sweet as honey, yeah, this beat cha-ching like money. Disco on the low, I'm into that, I'm good to go. I'm diamond, you know I glow up. So let's go! Cause I'm in stars tonight, so watch me break the fire, set the night light. Hey! Shining through the city with a little funky soul. I'm a like dynamite. Oh, okay. Bring a friend, join a crowd, whoever wanna come along. A word up, talk the talk, just move like a young world. Skies the lights, so we're down to the break of dawn.
I just want to point out a few things from a technical perspective, because not only is this live, I mean we've got live vocals here, there is a backing track that you can hear in the background, and that backing track does have vocals on, but at a bit of a different level. And because of the live vocal, I mean, it's so dry, the sound. We've got no reverb, no delay, no anything really. So it means that the vocals live are really going to stand out compared to the backing track, which sounds almost like it's got a high pass filter on it, meaning that all the bottom end has been lost. So it's quite a tinny sound to the backing track. So I've just got rid of the pitch monitoring software just to point out some things that you have to take into consideration when analysing a live performance like this, because when you are performing on a stage of this size, you rely on foldback hugely at the front of the stage, and usually when you're playing in a band, the foldback is right in front of you, so you can hear your voice coming back at you and you get a mix as to what's going on. But here, I mean, we've got in-ear monitoring going on, and generally you have that anyway on huge stages. But if that starts going wrong, if your in-ears aren't quite where you want them to be and you don't get a good mix of the voices, then you're in a world of hurt, because here we've got a dance routine going on, which is all part of the show, and it's just what these girls do, but you don't have any foldback anywhere close to you, so you're really relying on your ears. So if that goes, keeping pitch is going to be an absolute nightmare. I tell you what, we'll watch it without the pitch monitoring software, because I'm pretty sure that they are having issues with their in-ears as well. Let's have a look.
Oh, okay.
Hey, here we go. So on the left-hand side, you can see that she's actually got her in-ear pack in her hand. And this is something that you would never do as part of your dance routine. So, like I said, they've obviously got issues, and it looks like she's just about to adjust her in-ears as well.
A word up.
Yeah. So now she's trying to hear her voice, and let's just take this back to the fact that they're trying to sing a song that is originally auto-tuned. So they're trying to do it naturally with their voices, and they're obviously having issues with hearing themselves. The other thing is that they're doing a dance routine, so breathing and keeping the dance routine going while actually probably what she's doing on my in-ears that I have, you have the volume on there, so you're trying to get a balance in your in-ears, and I route it independently. So if you're relying on the sound guy at the mixing desk to do it for you, there's not a lot you can do with the volume up and down other than make his mix louder or quieter. And it might be the case that they've just got loads of backing track in their ears, but they actually want to hear their voices. So yeah, we've definitely got some issues going on. So take that into consideration when you're listening to this vocal and, you know, the dancing, how much they're actually having to process. So they're actually rolling with the punches here.
Talk the talk, just move like you're off the wall. Skies are light, so we're into the break of dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the medicine, so you should keep your eyes on the ball. Ha! This is getting heavy, give me the bass, boom, I'm ready. Life is sweet as honey, yeah, this picture ching like money. Disco overload, I'm into that.
Actually, just as I brought that back on, let me just see if there was a quick... Yeah, here we go. You can see just a little check, and it looks like she might even be checking the connection. So she might not have anything in her ears as to what her voice sounds like. And again, if you haven't performed on a big stage, if you can't hear your voice, that is a nightmare. Everyone pretty much has to hear their voice to get a reference point as to where you are. And some singers, you know, put their finger over their ear to hear their voice within their own head to try and block out everything else. But if you've got in-ears, it means that even if you block your ears, you're still going to hear potentially just the backing track at, 80% volume and your vocal in there somewhere. They might even be getting the feeds of everyone else's voices but their own. So yeah, it could be really difficult, but all these little things that you notice, and you might not even notice this if you've watched this video and you haven't spotted, or you don't really know what she's doing here. But the fact that they keep the whole thing going, I mean, it's great because people watching it wouldn't necessarily, unless you point it out, wouldn't necessarily know that they're having a lot of technical issues here. And I love that. She still timed the dance move at exactly the right point while trying to fix the in-ears. Let's look at this again. Absolutely seamless.
Overload, I'm into that. I'm good to go. I'm diamond. You know I go. So let's go. 'Cause I'm in the sun tonight. So watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Shining through the city with a little funky soul. Let it go like dynamite. Through the city with a little fucking soul.
I mean, there's just one little run in there that I want to take it back to, and it was almost like this na na na. There's a little run. It was something like that. Oh, I just missed it there. I think that was it. Yeah. Dynamite. Dynamite. It's not the style that I do, but you can see actually in the pitch monitoring software how we've got these tiny notches on the right hand side, which was the G sharp 4, the A flat 4 here. So we started on the A sharp and then we went down. We've got this little notch here, and then we come down here as well, which will be the F sharp, and yeah, then we come down. And again, this is a live vocal, so it's not going to be all stuck to the lines, but we are so close pitch-wise with this little run that happens in, you know, a split second.
Through the city with a little fucking song. Like dynamite. Oh, oh.
So, yeah, I think that was just the backing track because it sounds so different to this really forward, dry mic that we've got live. Yeah, there are a couple of bits here that aren't actually being sung, but I mean, again, look, I mean, we are so far into the performance and she's still having to hold her in-ear monitoring pack. So, yeah, this is, I mean, it's great from that perspective that there's so much that is actually going wrong here, but they're continuing. And the other thing about, yeah, hitting these particular notes, they'll know that some of it is on the backing track, so they don't have to worry too much about it. It's that kind of thing that you can hear how forward the vocal is, and then when we kind of get into this scream, the scream has that high pass filter sound on it. It's a little bit tinny.
Set the night light, shining through the city, bring a little fucking soul.
And the thing is, this kind of thing that I haven't mentioned yet, they are hitting these lines now and again because they are accurate vocally. When I take it back, I mean, we have got, you know, obviously more than one vocal going on here, so it's picking up them hitting lines. And when I say hitting lines, of course, we know that if we're just going to do a quick zoom in on this, that we're going to be under the line or just slightly flat of the line here. But it looks on the line when you're looking at it from a distance. But we know that with pitch correction, it doesn't matter how close you get. It's always on the line. It never moves. But with a real voice, being on this line and maintaining it is pretty much, from all of the analysis videos we've looked at, it's impossible. So, yeah, especially when you're talking about doing it 2 or 3 or 4 times in a row. Never happens. But let's listen on. And just to address that, I mean, again, I think that high note was on the backing track, I mean, just purely because of mic placement. And those really high notes generally are a lighter sound. You know, it's not like belting. You're going up that high. It's going into either, you know, whistle register, and sometimes really high notes, but a clean head voice kind of sound. So it's not going to be really, really loud, where if you have the microphone, you know, I mean, it actually goes miles away. So she's still singing here, and, you know, it's out, the microphone's out of shot, but we can still hear the voice. So that's why I think that's, yeah, still on the backing track. But again, they're having a lot of issues here, so just getting through it, I think, is the aim. But considering, yeah, what they're dealing with, it is great. And there we have it. And I guarantee you that if you interviewed the girls after this performance, they'd probably put on a brave face and say, oh yeah, it's great and great crowd and everything. But then they'd be saying to each other, I can't believe that, one of them would say, my in-ears didn't even work. Another one would say, my in-ear mix was a nightmare. So, the on-stage performance sound is always different to what the crowd are going to hear at the front of house, or, in this case, kind of an open-air festival is what it looks like. I know that we've done BTS before, but I'm now going to show you the difference in the lines. And, I mean, this is actually a really interesting performance, but let's get into it and then I'll explain.
'Cause I'm in the stars tonight, so watch me bring the fire, set the night alight.
So already, in the first phrase of the song, we've got a little bit flat of the line here, bang on the B4, and if that was joined up, that'd be directly over, and bang on the F sharp 4 and the E4, and we've kind of pretty much bang on here. The interesting thing about this performance is it is more heavily auto-tuned in places than other places. Kind of behind the scenes, somebody is just adjusting the severity and onset of the auto-tune so that sometimes it's really heavy and sometimes it's a little bit looser so you get a more natural sound to the vocals. And I think that's exactly what we've got going on here. Somebody is adjusting this as we go, but let's listen on.
Let go. Shoes on, get up in the morning, come for me, let's rock and roll.
So like there, again here, it was really tight with the auto-tune, and then here was a little bit loose. And again, this might be just on the mic, and I can't remember which video it was, but we could see the settings as to how many cents it was being allowed above and below the line. Because auto-tune sounds like auto-tune. So now they're developing it so that it misses the note intentionally to try and throw you off that auto-tune has been used. But, I mean, just this processing sound, you can't really get rid of when you can hear the computer processing it.
King Kong, kick the drum.
And there again, that King Kong. Yeah, it's so stuck on the line. And then it's gone flat again. So that might be an exact replication of showing exactly what the software is doing. It's kind of allowing the first phrases through and then being a little bit more loose with the later parts of the phrase.
Rolling Stone, sing song when I'm walking home, jump up to the top of the brown. Ding dong, call me on my phone, nicely, and I get my ping pong.
So again, the girls are trying to sing this live without having their voices snap to different positions. So yeah, well, listen on. This is interesting.
Can you hear the bass boom? Alright. Life's sweetest honey. Yeah, just speech chain like money.
And for these kinds of phrases where it's just talking, of course, that's then cut off. So again, that's what I mean. Somebody's now disengaging, letting him have his. And I think that they're going to have each microphone routed to a separate auto-tune. When it's not just going to be across the board, because that'd be an absolute mess. So somebody's controlling the auto-tune on each of the microphones, dropping it in and dropping it out to make sure that, it only comes in for particular phrases. So you don't want this kind of thing auto-tune because it would just give it away. It would sound really dodgy. And again, now really strong on this phrase.
Good to go, I'm timer, you know I glow up. Hey, so let's go. Hey.
And then loose at the end here. And I think this, because this run is so important, it's directly over the lines pretty much all the time. And again, same thing here, absolutely spot on the line for the run.
So it's me bring the fire, something out of light. Hey, shining through the city with a little from your soul. Light up like dynamite. Whoa, let the dynamite.
Yeah, and there we have it. I mean, that whole thing just turned up to 11 there to make sure we didn't go anywhere other than the E4 for that particular note. So anyway, again, this is a live performance from BBC Radio 1, I do believe, here in the UK. Let me just take this back. Yeah, it was. So, this live performance, whether you class this as live because of the amount of manipulation of the voice going on, then that's up to you. But then you've got the whole artistic argument of, well, the original song has this on the vocal, so why would you not have it on the vocal in a live performance? So again, that's that artistic argument that I've always said, that if you're using it to get a particular sound with the voice, then that's the artist's choice, and they can do that if they want to. And then if you've got a song that's used auto-tune and then you want to perform it live and you use auto-tune, then that was the original song, so there's no problem with that, in my eyes. But I know that some people would rather that people could sing live, and maybe, I would be really interested to hear this song sung by BTS without the auto-tune, because I think they could probably do it. Obviously it's not going to sound like this, but I think they probably would have the ability to harmonise with each other. It just won't be stuck to these lines. I don't want to get too sidetracked, because it was about Fourth Impact and their performance, and the fact that, they are singing that truly live. They haven't got any auto-tune on their vocals. So thank you guys for requesting this particular video, and the previous video. This one I thought I'd just show you from one of BTS's live performances how the vocals work. But keep the suggestions and requests coming in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!